Today's video is not just another English lesson. It is a wake-up call, a reminder that your ideas, your experience, and your value are being buried under a mountain of silence. We are talking about something that can change your career completely. We are talking about becoming visible. Not because you are lucky, not because you have a perfect accent, and not because you were born in this country. Most people in your position limit themselves. They think, my English is not good enough, so I should stay quiet. But the truth is, they don't ignore you because of your grammar. They ignore you because you have accepted being a ghost in the room. Do you remember who you were before you moved here? You were a manager. You were an engineer. You were a leader. But now, when you sit in a meeting, you feel small. You have a great idea. You want to speak. But you wait. You wait for the perfect moment. You wait for the perfect English sentence in your head. And then, someone else says exactly what you were thinking. Everyone claps. Everyone listens to them. And you remain invisible. How long can you live like this? 1 year? 5 years? Your whole life? If you continue to wait for perfect English before you speak, you will spend your career watching others take the credit for your hard work. The regret of staying silent is much more painful than the fear of making a mistake. But today, this stops. In this story today, you will find the answer to break this cycle. You will learn that your value is not defined by your past or your accent. Your value is defined by your courage to be heard. By the end of this video, you will not just learn new words, you will learn how to reclaim your voice and upgrade your mindset. You are not a worker. You are a leader who is just learning a new language. Let's begin. Before we enter the story of Marco, I want to give you some weapons. In a new country, words are your power. But if you don't have the right mindset, these words are just sounds. Our first word today is visibility. Repeat after me. Visibility. Visibility means being seen. In your home country, you had visibility because of your title. Maybe you were a director or a senior engineer. People looked at your business card and they respected you. But here, your business card is blank. You are invisible not because you are small, but because you are waiting for someone to give you permission to be seen. Remember, you don't wait for visibility, you create it. The second word is overlooked. Repeat after me. Overlooked. When you have a great idea in a meeting, but no one asks for your opinion, you are being overlooked. It feels like a shadow is covering your face. But why are you overlooked? Is it because your English is bad? No, it is because you're playing safe. When you play safe, you become part of the furniture. To stop being overlooked, you must decide that your contribution is more important than your grammar. The third word is assertive. Repeat after me. Assertive. Many immigrants are afraid to be assertive. They think being assertive means being rude or aggressive. They think, I am a guest in this country. I should be quiet. That is a lie. Being assertive means you respect yourself and your ideas. It means saying, I have a point to add, with a calm and steady voice. Being assertive is not about fighting. It is about standing your ground. The fourth word is self-worth. Repeat after me. Self-worth. This is the most important word for today. Your self-worth is the value you give to yourself. Most people let their boss or their paycheck decide their worth. If they work a low-level job, they think they are low-level people. If they speak broken English, they think they have a broken mind. That is a mistake. Your self-worth does not change when you cross the border. You are still the same talented person you were back home, only the language is different. The final word for our journey today is resilience. Repeat after me. Resilience. Resilience is your ability to bounce back. You will make mistakes in English. You will say he instead of she. People might smile or look confused. Resilience is when you feel the embarrassment, but you continue to speak anyway. Resilience is the bridge between being invisible and being a leader. Take these 5 words: visibility, overlooked, assertive, self-worth, and resilience. Keep them in your heart. They are not just English words. They are the keys to your new life. Now, let's see how these words change the life of a man named Marco. The sun is rising over the cold city of Toronto. Marco sits in his small kitchen. He drinks a cup of strong black coffee. The steam from the coffee warms his face, but his heart feels cold. On the table is a photo. In the photo, Marco is standing in front of a giant bridge in Brazil. He is wearing a white hard hat. He is smiling. He looks strong. He looks proud. In that photo, Marco was a chief engineer. He managed 300 workers. He built structures that touched the sky. Marco looks at his hands. His hands are rough now. There is dirt under his fingernails from the construction site. He moved to this new country 2 years ago. He moved for his children. He wanted them to have a safe life. He wanted them to go to great schools. But Marco has a secret hunger. He doesn't just want to survive. He wants to contribute. He wants to use his brain, not just his muscles. Every morning, when he walks to the subway, he looks at the tall office buildings. He thinks, I belong in there. I have ideas that can save money. I have solutions that can make projects safer. Marco dreams of a day when he can sit in a boardroom again. He dreams of a day when he can speak and people will say, that is a brilliant point, Marco. He wants to be more than just the guy who carries the heavy tools. He wants to be a leader again. He wants to feel that his life has a purpose beyond a paycheck. His daughter, Sofia, comes into the kitchen. She is 10 years old. She says, Good morning, Papa. Are you going to build something big today? Marco smiles, but it is a sad smile. I am going to work, Sofia, he says. In his mind, he says to himself, I want to show you that your father is not invisible. I want to show you that we can be anyone we want to be, even in a language that is not our own. This is Marco's desire. It is not about money. It is about dignity. It is about the fire inside him that refuses to go out. He is ready to fight for his place. He is ready to be a professional again. But the road is long and the wall is high. The construction site is loud. There is the sound of hammers and heavy trucks filling the air. The foreman, a big man named Miller, screams, Marco, bring the steel pipes over here, now! Marco moves fast. He carries heavy pipes on his shoulder, but his mind is busy, observing the site. He sees blueprints on the table, a big mistake in the foundation. If they continue, the wall will be weak. Marco stops and walks to Miller. His heart beats like a drum. He wants to explain, but words are messy. He wants to say, the angle is wrong, the weight is too high. He searches for foundation, but only simple words come out. Mr. Miller, Marco says quietly. Miller, busy, asks, What is it, Marco? Marco struggles. The wall, it is not good. The calculation, it is bad. He tries to convey the problem. Miller looks at Marco's dirty clothes and struggling lips. He laughs, dismissing him. The wall is fine, Marco. You are a laborer. Just carry the pipes. Leave thinking to engineers. Marco feels a sharp, non-physical pain in his chest. The pain of being ignored and undervalued. In Brazil, engineers sought his advice. Here, he is just the guy who carries the pipes. He knows he is right. The wall is dangerous. But his English feels like a cage, making him feel stupid. Later, a meeting in the trailer. Young, fast-speaking engineers from the city gather, wearing clean boots. Marco stands at the door with a solution drawing. He waits for a moment to speak, but is spoken over. Engineers discuss efficiency and deadlines. They don't see the expert at the door. To them, Marco is invisible. Marco returns to his station, hands shaking. Is this my life now? Am I just a ghost in a bright vest? The physical wall is high, but the wall of silence in his life feels much higher. He feels steel's weight, but his broken English is heavier. He starts to believe Miller might be right. Maybe he should just stop thinking. Maybe his ideas don't matter anymore. His confidence wanes. This is the barrier. Not just language, but the world telling him he has no value. It is a silence that eats his confidence every single day, slowly eroding his self-worth. Every story has a shadow. For Marco, that shadow has a name. Ryan. Ryan is a junior engineer at the company. He is 25 years old. His boots are always clean. His accent is perfect. He has a degree from a famous university, but he has never built a real bridge in his life. Ryan is not a bad man, but he is arrogant. He looks at Marco and he sees cheap labor. He sees a man with a thick accent and dirty clothes. To Ryan, language is the same as intelligence. If your English is broken, he thinks your brain is broken too. One afternoon, Marco sees Ryan near the weak wall. Marco tries one more time. He takes the drawing out of his pocket. Ryan, Marco says, he uses a lot of energy to sound calm. The foundation here, it is moving. The soil is too wet for this design. We need to change the angle of the steel. Ryan doesn't even look at the drawing. He checks his expensive watch. He sighs, like he's wasting his time. Marco, I appreciate your enthusiasm, Ryan says. His voice is like ice. But we have computers for this. We have professional software. You are here to move the materials. I am here to do the engineering. Then, Ryan says something that cuts Marco's heart. Maybe in your country, you do things with your hands, but here, we use science. Go back to your station, okay? Don't worry about things you don't understand. Ryan walks away. He's laughing at a joke on his phone. Marco stands alone in the mud. The drawing in his hand is wet from the rain. He feels a cold anger. It is the anger of a lion being treated like a mouse. Ryan represents the wall of local experience, the wall of cultural superiority. He is the voice that tells every immigrant, your past doesn't matter. Your knowledge is garbage here. For the next week, Ryan makes it worse. In every meeting, he makes jokes about the quiet guys. He takes Marco's small suggestions and tells the boss they are his own. He steals Marco's visibility. He pushes Marco further into the shadows. Marco starts to feel small. Every time he sees Ryan, his throat closes. He wants to scream, I was a chief engineer when you were still in high school. But the words stay trapped. The villain is winning. Not because Ryan is stronger, but because Ryan has the power of the language. Marco looks at the weak wall every day. He sees the cracks getting bigger. He knows a disaster is coming. But the voice of the villain is louder than the truth. You don't understand, Ryan's voice echoes in his head. Go back to your station. Marco is at his lowest point. He is losing his self-worth. He is losing his identity. The antagonist has not just stolen his ideas, he is stealing Marco's soul. At the end of a long rainy week, Marco is tired. He goes to a small community center. He sits in a classroom for immigrants. His head is down, his fire is almost gone. An old man enters the room. His name is Mr. Abram. He was a professor in Poland 40 years ago. Now he teaches English to people like Marco. He doesn't look at grammar books. He looks at people's eyes. Mr. Abram walks to Marco. He sees the dirty hands and the sad face. Marco, the old man says softly, you are not here. Your body is here, but your spirit is hiding. Why? Marco sighs. Mr. Abram, I have no voice. I am an engineer, but I am treated like a ghost. Ryan, he says, I don't understand science because my English is bad. Maybe he is right. Maybe I am just a worker now. Mr. Abram hits the table with his hand. The sound is loud. Listen to me, Marco. A bridge does not care about your accent. Gravity does not care about your grammar. The science in your head is the same in Brazil and in Canada. The only thing that changed is your belief in yourself. Marco looks up. But they don't listen. I try to speak and they talk over me. Mr. Abram smiles. It is a wise, strong smile. That is because you are speaking like a victim. You are waiting for permission to be heard. Today, I will give you the secret. It is not a secret of perfect English. It is a secret of the executive presence. Mr. Abram takes a piece of paper. He writes 3 things. 1. The pause. 2. The visual power. 3. The anchor sentence. The secret is this, Mr. Abram says. When you want to speak, do not wait for a silence. Silence is something you must create. First, the pause. Before you speak, stand tall. Stop moving. Look the villain in the eye for 2 seconds. The room will go quiet because people are afraid of silence. Second, the visual power. Do not just use words. Use your hands. Use your drawings. If they don't hear your voice, make them see your mind. Third, the anchor sentence. Do not apologize for your English. Never say, sorry, my English is bad. Instead, use an anchor. Say, I have a critical observation. Or, based on my 20 years of experience, here is the risk. These words are simple, but they change your position. They tell the room, I am the expert here. Marco looks at the paper. He feels a spark in his heart. Visibility is not a gift, Marco, Mr. Abram continues. It is a choice. You are not a student. You are a leader in a different skin. Go back to that site. Do not fight Ryan. Lead him. Show them the wall is falling and you are the only one who can stop it. Marco stands up. His back is straight. He doesn't feel like a laborer anymore. He has the secret. He has the weapons of a leader. He realizes that the language is just a tool, but his mindset is the engine. Thank you, Mr. Abram, Marco says. His voice is still slow, but it is steady, it is assertive. Mr. Abram nods. Don't thank me with words, Marco. Thank me by being heard. Monday morning. The construction site is cold. Marco walks to the trailer. The meeting is about to start. Inside his pocket, he feels a small piece of paper. The pause, the visual power, the anchor sentence. Inside the trailer, the air is thick with stress. Mr. Miller is looking at a computer screen. Ryan is talking fast, waving his hands. We are behind schedule, Ryan says. We need to pour the concrete for the wall today. Marco stands at the back. His hands are sweating. He looks at the wall outside. The cracks are small, but they are deep. He knows if they pour the concrete now, the weight will destroy the foundation. Ryan continues. So, the plan is decided. Does anyone have a question? Ryan looks around the room, but he doesn't look at Marco. He is ready to close the meeting. This is the moment. Marco's heart is screaming, stay quiet, stay safe. But he remembers Mr. Abram's voice. Visibility is a choice. Marco takes a step forward. He does not speak yet. He uses the first weapon, the pause. He stands in the middle of the room. He looks directly at Ryan. He stops moving. 1 second. 2 seconds. The room becomes very quiet. Even Mr. Miller looks up from his computer. The silence is heavy, but Marco is holding it. Then Marco uses the second weapon, the visual power. He doesn't just talk, he walks to the table. He puts his large, dirty drawing on top of Ryan's clean laptop. It is a bold move. Everyone looks at the drawing. Marco points to a specific red line. Finally, he uses the third weapon, the anchor sentence. He does not say, sorry, I think. He says, I have a critical observation about the safety of this project. His English is slow, his accent is thick, but his voice is steady. Based on my 20 years of experience in structural engineering, Marco continues, this foundation is moving. The soil is too wet. If we pour concrete now, the wall will fall. People will be hurt. Ryan turns red. That's impossible, Marco. The software says the soil is fine. You are just a laborer. You don't know the data. Marco doesn't look away. He looks at Mr. Miller, the boss. The software sees the numbers, Marco says. But my hands see the reality. Look at the cracks. They are not surface cracks. They are structural. Ryan laughs nervously. He's just confused by the English terminology, Mr. Miller. Let's ignore this and move on. But Mr. Miller is looking at the drawing. He is looking at Marco's eyes. He sees something he didn't see before. He sees a professional. Wait, Mr. Miller says to Ryan. Let's go outside and look at the cracks together. Outside, the wind is blowing. They stand in front of the wall. Marco takes a heavy tool. He pushes it into the soil near the foundation. The tool sinks deep into the mud easily. Water, Marco says. Under the ground. The computer does not see the water, but I see it. There is a long silence. Mr. Miller touches the wall. He sees a small piece of stone fall away. He turns to Ryan. His face is very serious. Ryan, stop the concrete trucks. Now. Ryan is shocked. But the deadline doesn't matter if the building falls, Miller screams. Then he turns to Marco. Marco, come to my office. Bring that drawing. I want to hear your full solution. Marco feels a wave of relief. His legs are shaking, but he is standing tall. He looks at Ryan. Ryan is quiet now. The villain is not gone, but his power is broken, because Marco finally used his voice. He didn't speak perfect English. He spoke the truth with authority. The struggle was hard, but the victory has started. Marco is no longer a ghost. He is a man with a name. 2 weeks later, the construction site is different now. There is a new sign near the foundation. It says, Safety first, project under review. But the biggest change is not the sign. The biggest change is Marco. Marco is no longer carrying steel pipes. He is wearing a clean white hard hat again. He is sitting in the main office with Mr. Miller. On the table is Marco's solution. He designed a new drainage system to remove the water. He saved the project millions of dollars. He saved the company from a dangerous collapse. Mr. Miller looks at Marco. Marco, I want to apologize, Mr. Miller says. I saw your clothes, I heard your accent, and I assumed you were just a worker. I was wrong. You are a brilliant engineer. I need you to lead the structural team for this entire project. Marco feels a warmth in his chest. It is the warmth of being seen. He has his visibility back. He has his professional title back. But more importantly, he has his voice back. Later that day, Marco is walking through the site. He sees Ryan. Ryan looks down at the mud. He is quiet. He is no longer making jokes about the quiet guys. He realized that science without experience is dangerous. Ryan walks to Marco. Marco, Mr. Miller told me about your design. It is very clever. I didn't see the water. I'm sorry. Marco looks at the young man. He does not feel anger. He feels a sense of peace. Ryan, Marco says, the software is good, but the ground is real. In the future, ask the men who touch the ground. They have stories the computer cannot hear. Ryan nods. For the first time, he respects Marco. That evening, Marco goes home early. He buys a small cake. He walks into his kitchen. His daughter, Sofia, is doing her homework. She looks at his white hard hat. She looks at his clean hands. Papa, did you build something big today? Marco smiles. This time, it is not a sad smile. It is a smile of pure joy. Yes, Sofia, he says. Today, I built a bridge. But you were at the office, Papa, Sofia says, confused. Marco kneels down and looks into her eyes. I built a bridge of words, Sofia. I showed people who I am. And from now on, no one will ever tell us to be invisible again. Marco is not just an immigrant anymore. He is a leader who happens to live in a new country. His English is still not perfect. He still makes mistakes. But he realizes that people don't listen to his grammar. They listen to his confidence. They listen to his value. He sits at the table and eats cake with his family. The house feels bigger. The future feels brighter. He is no longer a ghost. He is Marco, a father, an engineer, a man who was heard. Marco's story is not just about a bridge or a building. It is a story about the bridge inside you, the bridge between who you were back home and who you are in this new land. What can we learn from the man with the dirty hands and the clean mind? First, we learn that silence is not safety. For a long time, Marco thought, if I stay quiet, I am safe. If I don't speak, they won't laugh at me. But silence was his prison. When you stay silent, you give people permission to ignore you. You give people like Ryan permission to steal your visibility. Remember, your silence does not protect you. It only hides you. Second, we learn that your value is independent of your English level. Marco's structural engineering knowledge did not change just because he was in Canada. The gravity was the same. The physics was the same. His value was always there, underneath your face. You might feel small because you struggle with a/an/the or verb tenses. But you are not a student in a classroom. You are a professional in a transition. The world needs your brain, even if your mouth is still learning. Third, we learn the power of the invisible tools. Marco didn't win because he studied a grammar book all night. He won because he used the pose. He used visual power. He used his anchor sentence. He changed his posture before he changed his words. You see, communication is only 10% vocabulary. The other 90% is how you carry your soul into the room. I want to tell you something very important. Look at your hands. Maybe they are tired. Maybe they are doing work that is below your old title. But those hands have built a life before. And they can build a life again. Do not wait for your English to be perfect before you speak. If you wait for perfection, you will wait forever. Speak with your mistakes. Speak with your accent. But speak with the authority of the leader you already are. Like Marco, you might be at your lowest point today. You might feel like a ghost in a bright vest. But ghosts can become legends. All it takes is one moment of courage. One moment to say, I have a critical observation. If Marco can do it, you can do it too. He didn't have a miracle. He had a choice. And today, I am asking you to make that same choice. Stop being a laborer in your mind. Start being the manager of your destiny. The wall is high, yes. The language is difficult, yes. But you are a builder. And builders do not complain about walls. They build doors through them. You are heard. You are seen. You are valued. And this is just the beginning of your new story. Let's step out of Marco's story and look at your life. Because Marco is not just a character. Marco is you. You are sitting there, watching this video, and maybe you feel a little bit of pain in your heart. That pain is good. That pain is your soul telling you that you deserve more. Let's look at 3 deep lessons from this journey. Lesson number 1, the language trap. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is, when my English is perfect, I will be successful. This is a trap. English is a tool. like a hammer. If a master carpenter uses a cheap hammer, he still builds a beautiful house. If a beginner uses a gold hammer, he still makes mistakes. Your experience, your kindness, your leadership, these are your skills. English is just the hammer. Do not let a cheap hammer stop a master builder. The world does not need your perfect grammar. The world needs your unique perspective. Lesson number 2. The cost of being safe. Many immigrants think being safe means being quiet. They don't want to cause trouble. They don't want people to look at them. But in a professional environment, safe is dangerous. If you are safe, you are invisible. If you are invisible, you are replaceable. Marco was safe when he was carrying pipes, but he was only valuable when he spoke up. Ask yourself, what is the cost of your silence? It is not just a promotion. It is your dignity. It is your children's pride in their father or mother. The risk of speaking is small. The risk of staying silent is losing your identity. Lesson number 3. Occupy the space. Did you notice how Marco won? He used the pause. He used the visual power. He occupied the space. Most people speak because they want to get it over with. They speak fast because they are nervous. A leader speaks slowly because they know their words have weight. When you enter a room, do not act like a guest. Act like the person who owns the solution. Use your hands. Look people in the eye. When you speak, do not look at the floor. The floor does not have the answer. The people in front of you do. Like Marco, you might be an invisible professional right now. You are a doctor working as a cleaner. You are a manager working in a kitchen. You are a teacher driving a taxi. I want you to remember, your current job is your situation. It is not your definition. A king in a prison is still a king. An engineer in a construction site is still an engineer. Today, I want you to reclaim your title. Not the title on your paycheck, but the title in your heart. Stop saying, I am just an immigrant. Start saying, I am a professional who is expanding my territory. The people at your work, the Ryans of the world, they are not better than you. They just have a head start in the language. But you have something they don't have. You have resilience. You have the hunger of the underdog. And that hunger is your greatest advantage. Do not let your silence be your legacy. Let your courage be the bridge to your new life. Motivation is a spark, but action is the fire. I don't want you to just feel good after this video. I want you to be different. I want you to be heard. So, I have a small challenge for you today. It is called the 5-minute voice. Tomorrow, when you go to work or when you go to a meeting, I want you to do 3 simple things. First, the physical act. Before you enter the room, take a deep breath. Straighten your back. Remember Marco's white hard hat. You are not a ghost. You are a professional. Second, the verbal act. Do not wait for a gap in the conversation. Gaps do not happen in busy meetings. Use your anchor sentence. I want you to say one of these 3 sentences. I have a critical observation. Based on my experience, we should consider this. Can I add a professional perspective here? Just 1 sentence. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. Third, the community act. Look at the comments below this video. You will see thousands of people just like you. Engineers, doctors, teachers, parents, they are all fighting the same wall of silence. I want you to write one thing in the comments. Fill in this blank. In my home country, I was a blank. Today, I choose to be blank. For example, in my home country, I was a manager. Today, I choose to be visible. When you write it, you make a promise to yourself. And when you read others' comments, you realize you are not alone. We are a tribe of underdogs, and we are rising together. If this message touched your heart, if you feel that your voice is coming back, please subscribe to Everyday Confidence English. We don't teach you how to pass an exam. We teach you how to reclaim your life in a new language. Like this video if you are ready to stop being invisible. Share it with a friend who is struggling in the shadows. Your journey from the quiet immigrant to the valued leader starts with 1 sentence. Do not wait for tomorrow. The world is waiting for your ideas. The world is waiting for you. Let's practice right now. Repeat after me, slowly and with power. My value is not my accent. My voice is my power. Again, my value is not my accent. My voice is my power. Now, go out there and be heard. As we end this lesson today, take a moment to be still. Listen to your breath. Feel the weight of your body in your chair. The day was long, the struggle was real, but you are still here. I want you to forget the grammar for a second. I want you to forget the vocabulary. I want you to remember the person you saw in the mirror years ago, back in your home country. That person was full of dreams. That person was capable of great things. That person did not disappear when you changed your address. Your past is not a burden. It is your foundation. Every year of experience you have is a brick. Every sacrifice you made for your family is a pillar. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience. The world might try to tell you that you are small because your English is not fast. The world might try to make you feel like a guest in your own life. But the world is wrong. You are a builder. You are a contributor. You are a vital part of this new land. Go to sleep tonight knowing that you have a purpose. You are not here just to pay bills. You are here to leave a mark. You are here to show your children that courage is more important than comfort. When you wake up tomorrow, remember Marco. Remember that the invisible wall is only a shadow, and shadows disappear when you turn on the light. Your voice is that light. Do not be afraid to shine. You have the power to change. Your value is decided by you and only you. The quiet professional is waking up. The invisible manager is coming back. Be patient with your English, but be bold with your soul. We will be here, walking beside you, until your voice is as loud as your dreams. Thank you for spending this hour with me. It is an honor to hear your story. I believe in you. I see you. And I know the world will hear you soon. Good night. Rest well. I will see you at a better version of yourself tomorrow. You are heard. You are enough.